Okay, Louie's here with me. Louie does 99% of the barrel moving around this place, and we wanted to talk about a little hack we do on our barrel grabber. This barrel grabber is really old. I bought it about 15 or 20 years ago, and it looked really old then. When I bought it, it wasn't grabbing barrels very good, and I welded a washer right here on the end of this post, or whatever you call this piece of metal. And every once in a while we'll fill in this little concave worn out spot and then grind it smooth again. We just did that. It's about the third or fourth time in 15 years that I've done this. We just took a standard washer, welded it on here, and then filled it in and ground it flat, adding more thickness to this piece of metal. And it's because, let's show how this works. This is like a double hinge affair. As it goes down and it hits this section right here, it pushes this inward and squeezes the drum. So the more weight that goes down on it, the more it's squeezing. And this works because a couple weeks ago before we did this, we were having trouble with some of the really oddball drums. It wasn't quite grabbing them good enough, so we had to add some more meat on there. So we've worn a couple washers off completely, had to refill this divot area a couple times, and then here we just had to do it again. Now this plate, when I bought this thing, this plate was already added. I don't know if that was original or not. I think somebody else added this plate at some point to make it a tighter squeeze too. So Louie, why don't you just show grabbing a drum here, show how this thing works. So as he lifts, the more he lifts, as long as it's under one of these rings or the top or something, the more weight that goes down, the more it pushes it in. So it's like a squeeze situation with the weight. And you can see now how that adding that meat in there has really helped it get tighter. There is such a thing as too tight. Show us how you let it down, Louie. So it goes down and out at the same time. And if it's really tight, that's tricky. I've had them pretty, I remember, when I first got it, it was really tight and it was kind of tricky getting it to release, but it'll grab weird drums when it's like that. Yeah, so you kind of go down and in at the same time and then up. Yeah, so that's an ancient grabber. I don't even know how many times that's picked up a drum, Louie. I tens of thousands of times. I don't even know. So anyway, wanted to show that. And then this safety chain. Of course, you don't have to have it, but it just keeps that thing from sliding off if it's gripping the drum when you're trying to back away. So good news, Louie. We're down to the last 3 or 4 loads, and then we'll be done receiving.
Truck driver said he's picking up from 2 from New York.
2 out of New York.
Yeah, and I think 1 out of South Dakota.
Yeah, 1 in South Dakota, and then 1 more in Wisconsin, and I think we're done. Okay. Yeah, aren't you glad? Okay, we are out of room, yeah. And this is Johnny. Man, you look colorful.
You know, gotta keep it bright, you know.
Yes, sir.
You know, keep the happiness going.
Okay, so this barrel grabber is a little different. It works differently. It's like a hinge at an angle. And when the ring of the barrel gets on here and you try to pick up, it makes this go down and squeeze in. The harder it's pushed down, the more it squeezes in. And I've had this one a long time too. I've had this probably 20 years. And eventually what I had to do was put a washer right here to rate. Dave, could you move that up while I'm holding the camera? Push it up on that. Yeah, I had to put a washer there, and it actually made it tighter. It kind of wore this surface out and that surface out, and it wasn't squeezing on the drums as well as it had originally. So I put this washer in here, and now it works really good. So Dave's been using this one a lot. He's been over here filling my pole barn at my house. I don't ever show a picture of this. How many drums you got in here so far?
About 250.
And what do you think? Another 100 maybe?
Easily.
Easily. So we'll have 350, maybe 400 drums in here before we're done. Anyway, I just wanted to show this different style drum grabber. Probably need a little oil right there, grease. Also, another little fun thing that has nothing to do with barrel grabbers is this machine. I've had this machine a long time. This is old. This is a Swinger 100. The 100 came before the 110, before the 1600, and so on. I think this machine was built in 1979. And when I bought it, it had a Renault gas motor in it, which is how it came from the factory. And it didn't have a mast on it. It had a bucket. This used to be where the arms were mounted for a bucket, and had that cut off and had a mast put on it. And sandblasted down to the frame by A&O Forklift in Michigan, and completely rebuilt. And we put a small little Kubota diesel in it and made a whole new machine out of it. It's got its pros and cons. It's lighter than my Hummerbee. It cannot pick up the same amount of weight. It, I think, maxes out at about 1,800 pounds. It's lighter. It's only 4,400 pounds on a trailer, so it's a lot easier to tow around. And believe it or not, even though this is a little noisier and you have to rev up the motor a little bit to get the power, I actually preferred loading semis with this machine over the Hummerbee. The reason being is it's not hydraulic over or electronic over hydraulic on the pedal. It's strictly mechanical, which has its pros and cons. You can actually tow this thing. You can pull the lever off that pedal and push the lever in a certain position underneath, and it goes into a complete neutral. You can tow this thing, so that's pro and con. But that pedal is so sensitive when you're loading trucks and stuff, you can just stop literally on a dime, which is what I really like about loading trucks with this thing. So some of my employees prefer this one and some don't. Some of the people that work for me prefer the heavier, stronger, quieter Hummerbee over this one. But I haven't loaded a semi-truck in 5 or 6 years, but when I do, and if I ever again, this is the machine I choose for loading semi-trucks. Nice little old machine. Still works great.